Welcome into Bengals Breakdown. Billy BB with you. You guys all liked our short that we put out talking about Dante Moore, how it relates to the Bengals. The Oregon quarterback will return for the 2026 season. And perfect timing. After he did so, Mel Kiper of ESPN put out a new big board rankings. It's not a mock draft. These are rankings of overall players, right? You're not slotted here or there or the other. It's just this player is at this ranking because Mel Kiper thinks he should be there. Gives us an opportunity to break down players the Bengals could pick around, a guy they could trade up, trade back, players you should know when it comes to the Bengals draft. We like to do that here on the channel. If you're a draft person, if you like talking NFL draft, I don't know, maybe you're here, you're not even a Bengals fan. You just want to see some Mel Kiper big board rankings. Great. I'm a sicko too with the draft. Hit that thumbs up button if you're with me on that. The opening two, very talented players, big name players. These guys were in New York, right, trying to get their hands on the Heisman. Mendoza did. Here's the facts. You're not getting Mendoza, and I think Jeremiyah Love is a luxury pick, right, a big-time pick for a team like this, and to go up and get him, or even if he fell back to you and take him instead of another need on the team, I just don't see it happening with these two guys. But this is Mel Kiper's 1 and 2 on his board. Now, let's get interesting. Let's get into something good. Arvell Reese. We have mentioned him really since he popped off for Ohio State early in the season. What I will say with Arvell Reese, his first 8 weeks are much different than the rest of his season, right? That seemed to be a storyline for Buckeye fans. And again, we talked about it on the Ohio State Football Report if you ever want to check out that channel. Started spying the quarterback more, straight up. No more blitzing, no more pass rushing, certainly less pass rushing. Had him spy the quarterback. For me, that just shows how skilled Arvell Reese is. Still making an impact for the Buckeyes, not going after the quarterback, keeping him in the pocket, keeping the run game back. I thought he was really, really good in both sets for Ohio State this season. Your hope here is he falls to you. That's it, right? And then you get a game wrecker on defense. And I'm not even sure what you do if it comes down to Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs. I do want to float his name out there because you never know. He had a tough second half of the season. If teams shy away from them, if one team trades up you didn't expect, I don't know. Maybe Arvell Reese ends up at 10. Maybe Duke Tobin trades up to 5 to 4 and gets Arvell Reese. Got to put him on your radar. He is at 3 for Mel Kiper. Let me know, who is your dream round 1 pick? Name your player. A lot of you guys, I know you love Caleb Downs. Could be another player, somebody I don't mention in this video. Heck, maybe it's Fernando Mendoza somehow, some way. Let us know down below. This will be our pinned comment for the video. Francis Mauigoa. Here's the deal. You're not good on the offensive line. Spots, I think you're okay. You need some major improvements. This is the guy. Miami's playing well because of their offensive line and their defensive line, and this is the guy that does it for the offensive line. I thought he's been very good for Miami this year. They're having their dream season in a way. I'm tired of watching Orlando Brown for the Bengals. We're going to mention a couple tackles during this video that we want to put on your radar. Mauigoa, he is one of them. Definitely got to consider him, and he's proven he can do it at all levels and somebody you should have your eyes on as Bengal fans. And look, we're going to talk about if Downs isn't there, if you trade up, if you trade back. That's why we are putting these guys on your radar. Sticking top guys, big names, David Bailey. And again, you see that number 5. That is not where he's slated to be picked. This is where Mel Kiper has him on his big board rankings. I'm not a big Bailey guy, personally. I think he's come on lately and had a good season lately. Not great with stopping the run. That's not a strength for him overall. It does get after the quarterback at a solid rate. Not personally a fan, but again, if the Bengals want an edge rusher, want to get that unit going, David Bailey is going to be somebody they consider. You know, you're probably out Trey Hendrickson, name some other guys. You're kind of shifting around contracts, all that. Bailey is an option if they go defense. We're going to talk a lot of defense. Sticking with defense, Caleb Downs. This is the guy, right? Kiper's got him at 6, but yes, you can get him at 10. Another great reason we're talking big board, not mock draft, right? Caleb Downs is 6 on the big board rankings, but probably goes 8, 9, 10 in the draft. Really good 3 years in college football. He is the quarterback of the defense. He is the leader of Ohio State's defense. Highly recognized award after award after award. And I think probably the greatest ideas, like other coaches recognized him as a top college football player, despite not having gaudy stats, amazing stats, 20 interceptions, 80 sacks. They know what Caleb Downs does well, and the Bengals should hope he's there at 10 so he can do it for them too. Want to let you guys know real quick before we get to the rest of the big board, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard, but in life and on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops on Prize Picks because they let you take control. Make sure you snag the app now before the playoffs get here for another weekend of playoff football. Get the app ready to go. We'll fill you in on a deal at the end of this little read here. Do want to let you guys know about this deal too, though. Check out this max discount in Prize Picks. It's Friday at 3 p.m. Begins Friday at 3 p.m. That goes through Sunday. CJ Stroud needs just one passing yard to hit the max discount. One passing yard. Come on now. More than a half a passing yard. Looks good there for CJ Stroud. New feature alert 2 on early payouts. So if your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out winnings even before the game finishes. People have been wanting that for a while, and I think it's a really, really great addition. Also, if you want flexibility, you can choose Flex Play, where you get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter how you play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Don't even get a win on that one. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Let me throw a name at you you may not have considered with the Bengals taking at 10. Again, there are scenarios Caleb Downs isn't there, and you don't know what the front office is thinking. Maybe they gauge this defense and they say, linebackers are our biggest need. Really hurt us last year. Have to improve it next year. Sonny Styles is a great option. Did you know Sonny Styles had not missed a tackle until the Miami game? That's right. Had not missed a tackle for Ohio State. Again, you're getting a leader. He wore that block O for the Buckeyes. Got better every single year he was at Ohio State. Actually had more tackles in 2024, but was still very good in 2025. Benefited from playing with Arvell, Reese. You need to keep your eyes on some players that maybe the deal for the Bengals is they assess a different need or something changes or need to be ready. If Caleb Downs, you can't just say Caleb Downs and then it's draft night and you don't know what's going on. That's why we wanted to bring you names like Sonny Styles. Carnell Tate, another option from Ohio State. I'm actually very impressed. Buckeye. But I wanted to bring up Kenyon Sadiq. I don't think the Bengals necessarily need a tight end. I don't think that's on their board and guys they're going to target. I just wanted to throw it out there. Something may happen. Maybe they assess they want the tight end of the future. I like Kenyon Sadiq. I think he had a good year for Oregon, and I think he is one of those guys that those numbers go way, way up when he gets to college with the 51, 560. I think all those sort of things go up there. So you got to keep an eye on Kenyon Sadiq. Definitely, again, tables could turn a million different ways. And Kiper on his slated board here, too, before we get to more names here. You can take a look here at Sadiq, and then there's other offensive options. A guy like Jordyn Tyson. I'm just not big on the Bengals getting a receiver any sort of which way. So, interesting there. More names flowing through the board a little bit. Makai Lemon beat Jeremiyah Smith out for the Blitnikoff this year at USC. Again, I'm not going wide receiver for the Bengals. I just don't see a scenario where they put that above all the things that they need. And Spencer Fano, again, you may know that the Bengals need a left tackle, right? Another great option here, just an absolute monster. I'm tired of watching Orlando Brown. I think you're tired of watching Orlando Brown, and this would be an electric pick to put in that place. You dump Brown's money, you get a new left tackle of the future. It's a win-win. And again, we got to see what the front office for the Bengals elects as their biggest needs. Maybe offense, might not be offense, defense, either which way. So, question for you guys. Do the Bengals have to draft defense in the first round? I'm talking tackles. I'm talking tight ends. Is your mind immediately, no, 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 we need downs, we need styles, we need defense overall? I respect that take. Is it have to be defense? We're going to mix it up. We're going to go 2 for yes, 1 for no. It doesn't have to be defense. 2 for yes, 1 for no. Mel Kiper's big board continues. We've talked about him a million times, but if you are a new viewer, the Bengals and Rueben Bain seem like they could be a really, really good fit. If you've watched Rueben Bain lately, he's the real deal, guys. He is a monster. The complaint against him is short arms, or he doesn't have the length or wingspan or whatever for your regular defensive ends, but he's a monster. He's proven it. He's played at a high level. And again, if the Bengals set the need at edge or pass rusher, Bain is a good option. Now, some of you have mentioned secondary. Some of you have kind of thought Cam Taylor-Britt out. Bengals have struggled in the secondary at times. Just wanted to throw this option once again. Kiper had Jermod McCoy, who actually did not play this past season. He missed the 2025 season with torn ACL. Look, this is just your best option if you want to go secondary. If you feel like that's your biggest need, I think it's a reach at 10. I think it might be a reach, I don't know, anywhere inside the 20s is in my personal opinion. But again, this is a big board ranking. And then another option at that defensive end, edge, however you want to put it, Keldric Faulk. We've talked about him a couple times on the channel. He definitely is somebody the Bengals could consider. Miami teammate for Rueben Bain, Akheem Mesidor. Same deal, real deal. Defensive tackle that they're going to take a strong look at. There have been times where I've watched the Bengals and I just thought to myself, I want to see someone different at defensive tackle. I can't stand what I'm seeing. I want it to stop. And I think Mesidor would be a really, really great option. Now we're starting to flow a little bit into the guys that'll go later in the first round, mid-first round, later first round, whatever you want to say for that one there. Similar to Mesidor, you could get Kayden McDonald, stack him up front, give him that opportunity to help the Bengals defense a little bit. I like McDonald. I think he's done good things at Ohio State. I think he'd be a good option there. We'll finish out the board here in just a second. We've talked about needs, what the front office thinks. I want to know what you guys think. What is the biggest need for the Bengals? We've talked offense, defense, tackles, quarter, all of it. Let us know down below. Offensive line options coming up here. There's a couple. I stop at Kadyn Proctor. I like Kadyn Proctor, and I think it's a trade-back scenario where you could get the Alabama offensive tackle, again, to be your guy for the future. You never know what the Bengals are going to do. Downs is off the board. They trade back. Now all of a sudden they're picking in the 15s, the 20s, need to fill a need. They see him there. I think Proctor would be a good option for that. More names that kind of fly by in that same position group. Caleb Lamu from Utah. Again, if you want to go offensive line, great. And then Peter Woods has been a name that's come up many, many times for the Bengals. Up front, they need that help on the defensive line. Is defensive tackle where you want to go? Not overall impressed with Peter Woods this past season. He had a lot of hype around him. He was going to be a top 10 pick. Now he's looking to be back towards the 20s. So, for me personally, I'm not overly got to get Peter Woods. Find it. If he's there, take him. I've never felt that way. Other names that finish out the Kiper big board rankings. Again, you got to hope you're not looking at these names because these are later first round unless you trade up. And again, I'm not about the receivers. I don't think there's great options for the cornerback position this year for college football. So, have a couple other names to throw at you, but we will have more Bengals draft coverage on the channel. So be sure to hit that sub button. We've done mock drafts, big boards, rumors, news, all of it. To stay locked in, make sure you hit that sub button. Final names thrown out there that we've kind of seen around and by Kiper. This list was actually different. Then more went off the board, then guys moved up. So names to know, even if they flow into that second round for the Bengals, third round for the Bengals. C.J. Allen, T.J. Parker. Cassius Howell actually has a lot of hype as an edge rusher and somebody that could be a difference maker. So we've ran through these names. We've given you the big board. Stay tuned on Bengals Breakdown. More draft coverage to come.